welcome to Music Movement this week. We're moving from where we were last week in the Solomon Islands to somewhere quite nearby, okay? I'm going to give you a clue. A bit like the Solomon Islands, it's very well known for its beaches and its beautiful coral reefs, okay? So the water surrounding this land is the Pacific Ocean. And in the waters are stunning coral reefs, a bit like the ones we saw last week, okay? Incredible marine life living there that you can dive and go and see, as well as the beautiful beaches. So that's clue number one. Clue number two is that on this land, there are still active volcanoes. That means they're volcanoes that can still erupt, okay? So we've got beaches, we've got coral reefs, and we've got volcanoes. Now, if it wasn't already diverse enough a land area, okay, that means to have lots of different beautiful things, okay? It also has rainforests and tribal villages. In those tribal villages, some of the traditional villages, some of the original languages are still spoken, okay? And as we said before in the Solomon Islands, that is something to celebrate. When people can stay speaking their own language, when they can celebrate their own traditions, okay? So we've got beaches, coral reefs, active volcanoes, dense rainforests. We've got tribal villages. Now, one last clue, okay, is that in the water where you find those coral reefs, some people also dive to go and find World War II legacies. Now that means there are still things from World War II that sunk down to the bottom of the ocean that you can see, okay? So if you enjoy history, you might love to dive to go and see those. Where are we this week? We're in Papua New Guinea. Okay, now Papua New Guinea has a rich music scene, okay? When I say rich, I mean it's diverse. It has lots of instruments, okay? People love music in Papua New Guinea and they always have. They love to use their voice, okay? They love to use drums, a large variety of drums. Now in the gold rush, when the Australians came in, they brought mouth organs, okay? Like some of the other places we've looked at, they also like to use a flute, okay? Which is very, very special to them, the flute, okay? But the one we're going to look at today is, let's have a look in our magic basket and see. Wow, what have we got in here today? It's so heavy. I have to put it down here on the floor, okay? So, in my magic basket today, I have got some different cylinders again, okay? I've got this big one here. Oh, and I've got some in it too. I've got a smaller cylinder. I've got a shorter cylinder. That's an old pot where I've cut the bottom off, okay? And I've got this big cylinder here, okay, which I'm just going to put there. I've got a small cylinder like this. I have got an old paint pot. Now this old paint pot, I haven't removed the bottom of, obviously, and that's my drum number one. So I've got my first drum here, okay? I have got my son's tambourine. Now you can see here that there's a material stretched over the tambourine that allows me to hit it, okay? It makes the bells ring, but if you just listen, the sound that the tambourine actually makes when the bells aren't ringing is a drum sound, okay? Now, that is the tambourine. Often this material that would be stretched over the drum, that might be an animal skin, okay? That once they've used the meat or something, they might use the animal skin because it dries. Lots of drums use that, okay? This one, I don't think probably would have used that. So I've got drum number two. If you've got a tambourine at home or at school, you can use one, or a little drum that's already made. Now, in my box, I also have a balloon and some scissors. And I'm just going to show you. You can make yourself a little drum if you have a balloon at home. And if you're at school and you would like to try this, perhaps it's something that you have the materials for. If you don't, have a go at home, okay? You can cut the bottom off the balloon so you only have the top part of the balloon. And can you see? You can stretch it with your fingers. So if you stretch it with your fingers, you can pull it around the top of a cylinder. So now it's a stretched surface like that. And you can tape it on if you want. And you have a drum, okay? So here's another one I made. And I've put some tape around that one. And you can hear it makes a wonderful drumming sound, doesn't it? And ever such a slightly different sound from this one because they're different lengths and they're different diameters. Okay, so there's another drum. Now in my bag I also have some tape. So I'm going to use some of this tape now just to tape this balloon around my cylinder. Like that. So it doesn't come off, okay? So I've got drum number 1, drum number 2, drum number 3, drum number 4. Oh, that's my favourite sound, is drum number 4. And I'm going to show you, if you have some tape at home, you could also use tape. So at school you might be able to do this if there's some tape kicking around, okay? Now what you'll need to do is find the end of your tape, which is often hard, and go from side to side, pulling the tape nice and tight, okay? And using your scissors, making sure that someone is watching you if you're using your scissors, okay? And cutting it off. And you're just gonna go around your drum so that the whole of that top surface gets covered, okay? If you'd like to have a go at that, you can do that now. I've got a drum. You can see I've left no gaps. Oh, nice sound. And you can hold it under your arm like that. You can put it between your legs like that. However you like. And that is my drum number 5. So, are we ready for our first track from Papua New Guinea? Okay, I want to see you moving, warming yourself up. I want to see you trying different drums. If you're at school and you're short for a bit of time and you don't all have one of these, no worries. Have a go at doing one when you go home. You can use your hands for rhythm. You can use the floor as a drum, okay? See you drumming and moving. See you moving and find your rhythm. You can even make some noise. Let's try and do a rhythm together. You ready? Use your hands or your drum or whatever you like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Make up one of your own. Move and warm up. Alright, so for our first animal that lives in Papua New Guinea. Okay, I've decided to start with quite a beautiful animal. Okay, this animal has wings, but it is not a bird. Okay, now this animal has wings and it's not a bird, so some of you might be thinking it's an insect. Okay. I will tell you a bit about this animal's life cycle. This animal actually starts its life as a caterpillar. And when it gets a bit bigger and it eats lots, it turns itself into a cocoon. Now inside its cocoon that it's made, it starts to change. And after some time of being inside its cocoon, it hatches out its cocoon and it becomes a big, beautiful butterfly. Okay, but this butterfly is extra special because it's the world's biggest butterfly, which can only be found here in Papua New Guinea. Okay, it's called the Queen Alexandra birdwing butterfly. And it's not called a birdwing for nothing. It's called a birdwing because its wings are the size of a bird. Usually when we see a butterfly, they're only about this big, aren't they? But this butterfly is this big and sometimes bigger. Okay, it's just like a bird in its wing size. So you're the largest bird in the world, you're the largest butterfly, in the world today. The Queen Alexandra birdwing butterfly. Okay? Now sadly, these butterflies are starting to lose some of their homes because as the people of the world are using more and more palm oil, okay, areas of where the butterflies live are being cut down for the palm oil to grow, okay? So sadly, there's not many of these butterflies left. Okay, now they are stunning. They are beautiful, bright blues and greens. Okay, a bit like that Pacific Ocean. Blues and greens and natural browns and the brightest yellow. Wow. Okay, so for our first track, for the animals, I would like to see you starting inside your cocoon. Okay. And we are going to hatch our way out to be a beautiful, giant butterfly. Okay, are you ready? Great. So starting in your cocoon. Those legs out and take flight. Are you ready? Flutter butterfly, flutter, flutter butterfly. Find a leaf to perch on, have a rest, and when you're ready, take flight again. Okay, so that was our first animal of Papua New Guinea. So that brings us to our second. Now our second animal is pretty cool, okay? When you look at him, he's very, 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 very spiky. So some of you at home or at school maybe just guessed that it was a hedgehog, okay? Keep that image of a hedgehog in your mind. It's not a hedgehog, but it looks quite similar, okay? It's about that size, maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, and very, very spiky. In fact, it's about this big. Very, very spiky. Okay, but this animal has got a very, very long snout. Okay, a very, very long snout. Okay, which is where it gets its name from. So, this animal is a mammal. Now, who can remember how a mammal has a baby? It has exactly that, doesn't it? It has a baby when it gives birth, okay? But this mammal doesn't have a baby, it lays an egg. So that's very unusual, isn't it? It's a mammal that lays an egg. It looks a bit like a hedgehog, but a bit bigger. It's very slow moving, okay? And it likes to eat earthworms. Are you any closer to knowing what it is? I had never heard of this animal before, but it's absolutely spectacular to see. Okay, it has a long spiky nose, very spiky fur, spiky appearance, okay? And it lives in the tropical forests, the grasslands, the scrubs. You can find it in quite a lot of different places in Papua New Guinea. It likes to rest inside dens or in the hollowed out bit of wood. Sometimes it breaks the logs apart, the wood apart, to try and find and eat larvae. Okay? This animal is also nocturnal, which if you remember, it means it comes out at night. Has anybody got it? Right, I'm going to tell you. It's the eastern long-beaked echidna. Now, I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, it's the echidna. Okay, so the eastern long-beaked echidna looks a bit like a hedgehog. It's got spiky skin. I want to see you somehow doing your long beak. Okay, you can use your hand to be a long beak. If you do have any kind of cylinders from the first activity, you can use a cylinder to be your long beak, because they use these long beaks to dig holes, big holes in the ground to find their earthworms. Sometimes these holes are 40 centimeters deep. Okay, so we're going to be digging lots of holes with our spiky long beak. Okay, they move very slowly on 4 legs. Okay, and they come out at night. So are we ready to be an eastern long-beaked echidna? Cool. Four legs, let's use your beak, okay? So move really slowly, move really slowly. 4 legs. If you've got more space than me, practice walking slowly on 4 legs around the room. Let's see you digging those holes. Okay, so that was our second animal, the eastern long-beaked echidna. Okay, so leads us to our third and our last animal. Now, we actually looked at an animal similar to this. I say similar to this, it's actually kind of the same animal that we looked at when we were looking at Australasia, the continent. Okay, so if anyone can remember our 3 animals that we looked at when we were in Australasia, this is a type of one of them, okay? But this type doesn't spend time on the ground. It spends most of its time up in the trees, okay? In fact, it's only found in the mountain forests of Huon. It's the only place in the whole world you can find this animal, okay? It's often, by the people of Papua New Guinea, it's often hunted for food, and its fur is often hunted to use for decoration, okay? Which means there's not that many of them alive, okay? Now, a bit like the animal that we looked at in Australasia, it carries its babies in a pouch. Did anybody just guess? A kangaroo. Okay, well this is a type of kangaroo. This is called the Matschie's tree kangaroo, and that is because it spends most of its time in the tree. It looks a little bit like a bear, okay? A cross between a bear and a kangaroo. It keeps its baby in a pouch, its little Joey, okay? It likes to eat leaves and fruit. But unlike the regular kangaroo, the kangaroo you find in Australasia, this kangaroo can't just hop on 2 feet. It can also walk on 2 feet, okay? Which is unusual for the kangaroo family. It's the only one of the kangaroos that's actually able to do this, okay? Just like the long-beaked echidna, this animal likes to sleep in the day and come out at night. It's a nocturnal creature, okay? And when it's sleeping in the day, you'll find it hunched over, asleep like this, okay? So we're gonna start off our track, hunched over, asleep, and we're gonna wait for nightfall. Are you ready? Okay. you got a little baby in your pouch? How's he doing? Should we walk on 2 legs? Climb a tree? Picking fruit? Eating it? Climb down the tree? And hop! Okay, I think the sun's coming up. Ready to hunch over, hunch over. Whew, well done, kangaroos. Okay, so those are our 3 animals of Papua New Guinea, which means it's the end of our session today. I'm excited to see where we're going next week, and I hope you enjoyed our journey here and our 3 new animals. Let's recap with their exciting names. We had the Matchie's tree kangaroo. We had the eastern long-beaked echidna, and we had the biggest butterfly in the world, the Queen Alexandra birdwing butterfly. So now find a space to unwind, relax. Hopefully you've warmed up a bit. Make sure you grab some water after the lesson if you didn't have some during it, okay? And listen to the sounds of Papua New Guinea for our last relaxing track.
Mare